This segment of the news is brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.
Welcome back. The Value-Added Tax Amendment Number 2 Bill 2021 was read and introduced for the first time and tabled in the House of Assembly on Wednesday. The bill seeks to amend the VAT Act of 2014 to reduce the standard rate of tax, which is currently at 12%, and minimize the number of exemptions and zero-rated items under the Principal Act. The bill will cause for a 10% tax to be added to items that were once tax-free, including under Clause 3 of the bill, bread, grits, cheese, corned beef, canned fish, soups, fresh milk, rice, baby food, among other staples, and the local sale of medicines and medicinal drugs. Under Clause 4, the bill seeks to make some zero-rated services VAT exempt, including services related to the use of terminal or breathing facilities by commercial vessels, and in respect of goods that have not been entered for home consumption, where the port origin and the port of destination are not within the territory of the Bahamas. The importation of replaced or repaired goods will also be exempt from VAT, and a limit on the exemption for the importation of goods by returning students as a part of accompanied baggage to goods that fall within the residence duty exemption. VAT was increased to 12% under the Minutes-led administration in 2018 from the 7.5% it was introduced by the Christie-led administration in 2015. Now, Clause 3 of the bill adds financial services to the list of zero-rated professional services when the benefit for advantage of services are outside of the Bahamas. The reduction in VAT is set to kick in on January 1st next year. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville admitting the rules set to replace the current state of emergency on November 13th are not perfect. Parliamentarians passed the COVID-19 Pandemic Special Provisions Bill 2021 in the House of Assembly on Wednesday afternoon. During the debate on the bill, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville, while he says the new COVID-19 rules are not perfect, says the government is working on some changes, also noting that the government has sought public consultation with the Bahamas Chamber of Commerce, churches, and sporting associations.
I made it clear that the rules are not perfect. They're not perfect, and it's very difficult to put rules together that will control the pandemic. I'm sure the competent authority had the same challenges. We having the same challenges where we sit, but we have taken the legislative route simply because the proclamation for emergency orders took away unnecessary civil liberties that we felt that were inappropriate after 18 months. And we've made a decision that we will go this route. And we will go this route because we believe that the Bahamian people put us on this side because they understood the direction we wanted to take the country.
Dr. Darville was responding to Marco City MP Michael Pintard, who presented some concerns regarding the health services, COVID-19 prevention and management of community spread rules and health services COVID-19 general rules 2021. The health minister adds that the input that the government would have received definitely allows him to now make some adjustments to the language in the rule. Dr. Darville further noting that the regulations laid are very fluid and will change based on the situation we are confronting. That said, Mr. Pintard further had concerns about the decline of vaccination in country, noting that the vaccination rate has gone from 1,000 a day to just 500. A worrisome trend, he says. To that, Dr. Darville responded with this.
We, along with the Pan American Health Organization, is very concerned with our numbers of vaccination in the last 2 or 3 weeks. We are beginning to see a fall, and like any responsible government and any responsible ministry, it is our responsibility to begin to explore all the reasons why. One of the things that we have noticed is that the largest centers, which is reflective of centers across the globe, are not as effective at this stage now that we have passed 40%. And it is our responsibility to now go to the people in smaller, different vaccination mobile units, different places, to make life easier for individuals who want to be vaccinated.
Dr. Darville says vaccination hesitancy is playing a role in the declining interest, but says the government is exploring ways to address the matter, including establishing vaccine pop-up sites. As of Saturday, November 6, 136,238 people have been fully vaccinated against COVID in the Bahamas, with 269,374 doses of various vaccines. Close to 200 owners and operators participated in the Commercial Recreational Watercraft Industry Seminar hosted by the Bahamas Port Authority on Monday past in preparation for the official returning to business for jet ski and ferry boat operators next week. Participants in the seminar heard from a number of officials from various government agencies on what will be expected and accepted once the industry opens fully, even as the battle against the COVID-19 pandemic is still very real. Jcn Saunders attended the seminar and files this report.
Senior Commander Bernie Wright, the acting port controller at the Bahamas Port Authority, was quite stern in his delivery as he strongly encouraged industry professionals to improve the way they have been operating, basically across the board, telling them they cannot go back to business the way it operated prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. But he reminds them that before they can return to work, there are some basic things that each owner and operator must take care of.
Firstly, even though we are to open this section of the business on the 15th of this month, there is a process. All of your jet skis, and in the case of the ferry boat operators, your vessels must be registered. It's no secret you were out of work from 2020, so many of you have not registered your vessels. So registration is expected. You will be running an illegal operation if you are not registered.
Registration for 2022 can be done in person at the Port Department on East Bay Street or online. Reinforcing what Minister of Transport Jobeth Kobe Davis said to the participants on Monday, Mr. Wright says the jet ski and ferry boat operators must also follow the code of conduct while on the job. He listed a few of the main areas of concern as it relates to conduct.
And I must say that what I'm about to say is not new information, but stuff happens every day. And there are those of you who need to be reminded. And this stood out in the minister's speech about there shall be no use of profanity and unruly behavior, no harassment of tourists, no fighting while on the job site. Weapons, so no.
Mr. Wright is also reminding the jet ski and ferry boat operators of certain rules and regulations that directly impact us as locals who frequent beaches here on New Providence and Paradise Island.
You must respect the rights of all users on the recreational waterways, to be considerate of all of other users at the launch, ramps, and docks. Follow the navigation rules. Give all anchored or drifting vessels adequate room. And I remind you again to be mindful of swimmers. Considering the recent time change, I remind you of the hours of operations from sunup to sundown. These vessels are not fitted with navigational lights, so they should not be operated at night.
To avoid offending or injuring swimmers or beachgoers, jet skis and ferry boats must remain 200 feet from shore and behind any visible swim lines. In the meantime, all industry professionals have been encouraged to get vaccinated. Jcn Saunders for JCN News.
Thanks, Jcn. Well, that does it for news this evening. Once again, I'm Leah Cooper. And from all of us here at JCN News, have a wonderful evening, everyone.
This segment of the news has been brought to you by Sun Oil Limited.